Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Felder. It's Chairman Gaming for Grandpa. Probably most of you saw last week with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, they added another increment in the amount of COD points you're able to purchase. That is correct. They actually added a $100 pack. Well, it's $99.99, and it'll give you 13,000 COD points. That's correct. You know, they had the 200, the 1,100, the 2,400, and the 5,000 packs, you know, ranging from like $2, $10, $20, $40, and now we have this new $100 pack with 13,000 COD points. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Now, we all remember in Advanced Warfare with, you know, this is kind of what you call micro DLC transactions. You know, it's downloadable content, you know, but with Advanced Warfare, those that were willing to spend the money could kind of give yourself the advantage, you know, with like royalty elite weapons and things like that. We all remember that. But when we actually look at, you know, like going into, you know, like opening, for example, like common supply drops. Now, they're only, you know, you can't use your COD points for regular common supply drops. They're only for rares. I get that, because with the rare, you know, there's a guaranteed rare item. You know, with the common, there's no guarantees there. But I'll tell you, I've opened quite a few rare supply drops, and they've done okay. But I've actually opened quite a bit of common supply drops, you know what I mean, and had just better luck. You know, let's look at my last 25 supply drops. These came from a common. These were all common supply drops. You can see a lot of common camos. And okay, well, now here's a legendary item. Now, granted, that's not a guarantee, but it was still a legendary. You know, it was a spearhead mag variant there. So, and then there was a rare, like the salute. So, you know, we got a legendary there, and these are just like the last recent 25 things I acquired. You know, you can see another rare there. And it's just kind of what I'm trying to say. There's a legendary. With this 25 particular items that came in common supply drops, 5 of them were either a legendary or a rare. So you could look at that as 5 out of 25, or you could say 20% of the items I opened in common supply drops were a legendary or a rare anyway. I think you have better odds with a common supply drop. You could save your money. But if you're really trying to get, you know, all of those legendary and epic camos, then you're probably going to want to spend the money on COD points. But I'm curious why we can't use the COD points on common supply drops. You know, out of the 25 that I said there, recently acquired, 5 of them were great items. So I'm not really sure. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you think we should be able to use COD points to buy common supply drops, or should it just be, reserved for rare supply drops? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys have bought any COD points. Be real curious. But it's your boy Phil, determined gaming for Grandpa. Click that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not. Thanks for watching.